Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things. I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe I should take what the IMF is going to do. I think we stunned Ross into silence with that one.
For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency. For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency. Some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency. Some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency.
Okay, here's the deal, Pickle. I have said on more than one occasion, in my videos especially, that I really believe there could be a global currency reset and or that we could be going back to the gold standard. I've also said that I really believe that, we're going to have, each country is going to have their own walled garden, and they all have their own digital currency. And I believe that the major ones will, in fact, back their currencies with gold. I saw this video clip, we've all seen it 100 times, where Brad Garlinghouse is talking to the lawyer of the IMF, and he makes that smirk on his face where you just know he knows. And he looks to the lawyer, and the lawyer says he doesn't want to get into too much detail. But it was the last sentence of that video that you just watched that really got me. Got me thinking that he says that, that in order for the IMF to hold digital currency, which was what the question was, according to the legal framework, it would have to be used as the currency of one of the countries.
Some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency.
Well, I think I know what's going on now, at least for me in my mind, and I think that is that the IMF will hold digital currency. The IMF will hold XRP. The IMF will be able to use it and comply with their legal framework, because I believe, or at least I now believe, until something else comes up that changes my mind, that the United States will use XRP as a currency, allowing the IMF to use it for their SDR, meeting that legal framework, and in so doing, will retain the world's reserve currency status through XRP. And then I believe China and Russia could possibly have their own, we already know China is going to have their own digital currency, and then Russia have their own digital currencies, and they may be the big three players. Who knows, maybe that's what the Ripple logo is. But I believe they'll be the big three players. And I believe that these trade wars could all be, and Trump's meeting with Putin behind closed doors without any reporters or anybody there at all, very well may be that he is working with President Ng, I think that's the right way to say it, in China, and Putin. And these trade wars are just, kind of the media circus to, have reasons to get together and to be talking and setting this thing up. So, obviously, does anybody really know for sure? No, but this is some of my new thinking. And then I came across this.
In the storied tradition of his great-great-grandmother, Goldie knows to never compromise. Too shabby. Too much. Too perfect. I can rent this for that price?
Absolutely.
What is this, some kind of fairy tale? It's just right. Thank you. Book your Just Right rental at thrifty.com. Ow! Baby bear.
But I want to tell you some of the things that are in it that are just amazing. Here, the opening of this video, or this commercial.
The storied tradition of his great-great-grandmother. Storied tradition of his great-great-grandmother.
in the storied tradition of his great-great-grandmother. Now, why would anybody open a commercial that way? This, in a storied tradition of his great-great-grandmother. If you do that math, a generation or an average lifespan is about 30 years, and that puts this great-great-grandmother back to about the turn of the century. And at the turn of the century, the United States was on the gold standard. Then the next part of it is,
Goldie knows to never compromise.
Goldie knows to never compromise.
Goldie knows to never compromise.
And of course, right there on screen is Goldilocks, locked or tied to gold. Just bear with me. This is entertainment purposes, not financial advice, and it's all fun, and I know everybody's got their own opinions, and I have no idea if Bearable Guy, there's any truth, if that really is. You don't know what Joel Katz is doing on a lazy Sunday afternoon. I'm just saying. Anyway, the next part is, you know, after you never compromise, he walks into the room and says, no, that one's not going to do it. And it, unbearable is what it is up there. But I mean, come on, unbearable? The guy's wearing a jacket with little blue, ripple blue bears all over it. Just like the 404 error page that popped up. It's just interesting. I'm just saying, all the haters are gonna make all kinds of comments. But anyway, let's move on. Then he goes to
Too shabby.
Too Shabby.
Too shabby. Too much.
Then he comes to the Lambo. Too expensive. Could that be Bitcoin?
Too perfect. I can rent this for that price?
Absolutely.
I can have this for that price. I can have this for 30 cents. I'm just saying, bear with me. All right.
What is this, some kind of fairy tale?
What is this, some kind of fairy tale? Remember Joel Katz's Fairy Tale Castle?
What is this, some kind of fairy tale?
Came out about the same time as this commercial.
It's just right.
It's just right. That's the whole thing. And that is actually the thing that caught my eye when this commercial was tweeted out. It had a sentence down there, I don't remember what it said, but right in the middle of it, in all capital letters, was just right. So, in true conspiracy fashion, I did a gematria search for just right, because it was all capital letters and highlighted for some reason. So I go to just right, and I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up. There's English gematria and there's Jewish gematria. Under the English gematria, just right equates to the numbers 132. And 132 in the English gematria, one of the possible words is, just bear with me, hidden code. I'm just saying. Okay, then let's just go further.
Thank you. Book your Just Right rental at thrifty.com.
Then he gets in the car, and sitting beside him is this little ugly bear. I mean, come on now, really?
Baby bear.
Baby bear.
In the storied tradition of his great...
Anyway, this is interesting, this Thrifty commercial. So then what I did, I was like, now who would authorize, you know, this commercial to be made if there is anything, if there is a message to the elite in this commercial?
And so I started doing a little bit of a deep dive. Okay, well, who owns Thrifty? And then when I found out, oh, well, that's Hertz. Well, who's the CEO of Hertz? And I looked that up, and I'll tell you what, that's when it got amazing. Her name is Catherine Marlinio. Catherine Marlinio. And this gal's apparently pretty amazing. She's like in the top 20 CEO business women in terms of income in the country. She's had a pretty notable career. Probably the most notable that you might find interesting is that she was named president and CEO of the Electronics Payments Group at First Data Corporation in 1995, which provided electronic banking, commerce, and debt and commercial processing to the financial services industry. She has served as senior financial leadership positions for U.S. Bank, Chemical Bank, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank, and Barclays Bank. Now, come on, really? This gal in electronic payments since 1995. She also was on MasterCard's financial payments assurity group or something like that. I mean, this is really kind of amazing. I mean, and what is Ripple? What is Ripple all about? Payments. And this gal is deep in the payment industry and has been as one of the top female CEOs in the country. Pretty amazing. And again, this is all for fun. This is all just, it's entertainment, not financial advice, speculation, deep dive, conspiracy theory, all of the above. It's just fun. Take it for whatever it's worth. But I do believe that, we could have the U.S. using XRP so that we satisfy the requirement for the IMF's legal framework. And then at the same time, the IMF can then take, possession of the, or a large portion of the balance that's in escrow as their ESDR. And then we could, in fact, have the U.S. maybe create a stable coin, which we just saw David Schwartz doing a video on how that's possible, how you'd create a coin that is backed by and collateralized and leveraged against XRP. Now imagine if XRP was tied to gold and even to the price of gold, but not the $1,500 price of gold. If you ever go to the U.S. debt clock and look at all the different categories they have there, one of the categories is the price of gold, or what the price of gold should be. And what the price of gold should be, according to debt clock, is closer to $7,600 an ounce, not $1,500 an ounce. So imagine then if XRP, what if it was tied to gold, the real price of gold, when we were on the gold standard, and then what if then the U.S. created a stable coin that's collateralized by XRP. So now XRP is really stable because of the price of gold, and now the U.S. coin is really stable because of the, the stability of XRP. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of thoughts and a lot of comments, and I welcome them all. But again, it's all for fun. Take it for what it's worth. Just speculation, but either way, XRP is a done deal.
It's just interesting. It's really interesting. But anyway, you guys are awesome. If you don't mind, if you enjoy any of this, please subscribe and then tweet this out, retweet it if you wouldn't mind. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, have a great night. Bye-bye.